Welcome to Daily Zohar. I would like to encourage you to contact us, please. Questions, ideas, feedback, anything at rabbigaon@gmail.com. I know you all listening to us and hearing us, so you have to contact us as well. It just will help us become better. We're not afraid of criticism as long as it's constructive. The Zohar says, "V'natati gishmechem be'itam." This week's parasha. I gave you rain, actually your rains, because it's gishmechem be'itam, on the appropriate time. The Zohar says, each and every one of us would give his power upon you. What does it mean when they say they will give? The fact that you fixed the holy name and you made it holy on the same matter that it says V'shamru derech Hashem, and they guarded the way of God, la'asot tzedakah u'mishpat, to do tzedakah. Tzedakah would be charity, and mishpat, laws. V'kevan shekatuv, since it says V'shamru derech Hashem, since it said, and they guarded the way of God, why do we need to say tzedakah u'mishpat? What does it mean? I mean, it seems like an unnecessary addition. The Zohar explains, "Ela mi sheshomer darkei haTorah," he who keeps and guards the ways of Torah. It's very interesting that the Zohar says the way of Torah. Not sometimes the written law, but many times the spirit of it. Is this the way of Torah? The outlook. And it's something that it takes years of contemplation, of looking, of observation, to be able to understand before you even apply. What does it mean, the way of Torah? Lehavdil, to separate, not to compare. Not everybody who knows how to swing a sword knows the way of the warrior, the bushido, the way of the warrior. At a certain point, you don't need to swing swords, because there you have the way of the sword, the way of the warrior. Not everybody is a warrior. Not everybody is a ben Torah. Not everybody knows the way of Torah and understand the spirit of it. So shomer darkei haTorah, the ways of the Torah. When a person does this, kivyachol, it might seem, shehu oseh tzedakah u'mishpat. And what is tzedakah u'mishpat? What does it mean, tzedakah u'mishpat? Here the Zohar comes and throws a curveball. Tzedakah u'mishpat is God. When Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai heard that, he started crying. He says, it's helpless. Oy lahem lebnei adam. Aha, to the humans that don't know and they don't pay attention to the honor of their master. Ki mi oseh Hashem HaKadosh b'chol yom. Who could make this holy name every day? I mean, afterwards, when we do an Averah, we separate it. We create a certain separation. That's why we say L'Shem Yichud, Leyached, to unify. Shum Yachad. So who can make in a way, it's a concept. It's not that you created Chaz v'Shalom God, but you're putting together. So who can do this every day? Have Omer, how do you do that? Hu shenoten tzedakah le'aniyim, he who gives charity to poor people. Come and see. We already established, and we know, ki ha'ani achuz badin, harsh judgment is placed upon a poor person. Rabotai, Ani is not always money. A poor person is not always measured by how much money he has. A person can have a lot of money and be very poor. Poor spirituality as well. Not always money. That's why it's important you have this interaction. A person gives somebody money so he could teach him, and he gives him in return. So one gives money, the other one gives you spirit. The other gives money, gives you spirit. So both of them, because you need both of them. That's the concept of Issachar and Zvulun. Issachar would sit down and learn. Zvulun was a merchant. He was going, was sailors. He would do business. Why? To support the brothers. Because Imen Kemach and Torah. That everybody knows. If there's no flour, there's no Torah. Everybody would know. Excuse me. Aval Imen Torah and Kemach also. You need them both. You create a balance. And that is difficult. Because we like to be people of extremes. To be balanced, you need to have knowledge. And knowledge is something that we don't like to have sometimes. We would rather, many times, be ignorant and tap into this innocence. I didn't know. If I would have known. Who stopped you from knowing? Did anybody stop you from knowing? Who put the obstacles on you or upon you that prevented you from coming and learning? No one but yourself. So don't tell me it was I couldn't. You didn't want to. You had enough time to watch Monday Night Football. You had enough time to play, to watch the Knicks or the Mets or whatever it is that you play, you watch. You had enough time. Hockey. Whoa! Why do you like to watch hockey? You see people fighting. Okay, so you make your choices. So come and see. Since we already says that the ani achuz badin, there's judgment on it. The kol ma'achalol, everything that he eats is din, is hard. He eats dry bread. He doesn't eat good food. Is din. Hineh hamakom shenikra tzedek, that place that he's in it, that's called tzedek, is malchut. Is kingship in the sferot. Is malchut. Tzedek means malchut. Now you know, if a person accepts HaKadosh Baruch Hu on himself, he doesn't have a problem to do tzedakah because he knows Hashem is king. So you see the tzedek, because it's the right thing to do, the just thing to do. Why? Because you accept HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Again, if there's no God in the world, what should I give anything for myself? Survival. I'm not giving anything. I'm not sharing with you. God is the king. I'll give it to him. Kmo she'ata omer, as you would say, tefillah le'ani. Tefillah le'ani. Tefillah, we say tefillah le'ani, a prayer to the poor person. Pray like a poor person. Here the Zohar says tefillah is tefillin shel yad, the hand tefillin. And we already established and we said that he who gives tzedakah la'ani, a person who gives tzedakah to a poor person, who oseh lemala et Hashem HaKadosh shalem karaui, in the heavenly domain, he fixes and establishes the holy name appropriately. You get from here that when you don't do the right thing, when you do an averah, chas v'shalom, you can blemish the holy name. In a way, what does it mean to blemish the holy name? When a child acts in a certain way, and it gives, people would say, this is the son of so-and-so. You make the father's name or the parent's name elevated. The name is being praised. But on the other hand, where the kid is acting in an irresponsible, selfish, bummy way, people say, oh man, this guy, man, this kid. And his name is being down. It's being downgraded. That's what it means. So in Shamayim, you make the holy name appropriate as it should have been. Look at, it's unbelievable. Why? Mishum tzedakah, hi etz hachaim, is the tree of life. When you give from yourself, it's very simple. you have more room to receive from God. But if God gave you a lot and you hold it for yourself, there's no more room for the bracha to come. If you have a pool, swimming pool, when are you going to stop filling the pool? When it's full. As long as it's not full, you're going to keep on filling it up. So if the water is the bracha, is the blessing, the spiritual blessing that comes to our world, or you decided to be not like a pool, you're going to be like Niagara Falls. Water is gushing through. It will be a wonderful sight. Everybody will come and see that. It's an awesome sight. Why? Because it's flowing. Nobody goes to visit swamps. But we see rivers. We love waterfalls. Why do we love waterfalls? Because spiritually we are connected to this ability. We are mesmerized by the ability of things to flow and endlessly pour. That's why we like waterfalls. Nobody goes to sewer. Ooh, what a wonderful cesspool. Ah, I love the smell of napalm in the morning. Nobody likes that. So here too, you give, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives you. Give, so you can receive. Now, you said, well, I've seen many people who don't give tzedakah, they're very rich. You're right, but something else, other source of bracha will go away from themselves. They're not going to have satisfaction. They're not going to have nachat from the children. They're not going to look at their wives 30 years after they're married and have a crush on her as much as they were before they were married. Or the day of the wedding. How many people do you know that after 30 years of marriage, they have a crush on each other? They are madly in love with each other. That to be with another person will be just like unthinkable. Not because of God and punishment and moral. Because I can't. How many people like this do you know? Isn't that a bracha? You always measure bracha by money. And that's not true. Bracha like brecha. Brecha is a pool. You want the bracha to keep on falling? Let the water go. Share it with others. When you share it with others, you become a source of life to other people. You become a source of life to other people. Not a problem. You become Etz HaChaim. You attach yourself to the tree of life. You're a good investment. We have to look at things different. And it says, and that is Etz HaChaim. V'tzedakah notenet latzedek. And tzedakah gives to tzedek, justice. You're doing the right thing. V'tzedek, when he gives to the tzedek, az mitchaber zeh bezeh, then there is a connection. Tzedek, tzedakah, tzadik. When you're doing justice, it has to be justice with the yud, of the yud of Hashem. That's a tzaddik. Tzedakah has a hey, like your 5 hands. But the tzedakah has to be to someone. So here, give me your hand. No, like this, you're receiving, right? If I'm giving him with my 5 fingers to his 5 fingers, I'm doing the tzedek, what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants. Together, 5 and 5 becomes 10. So it becomes a tzaddik. Tzaddik is not the one who is, meditating all day long and closing his eyes and fasting and rolling in the snow. Tzaddik, a righteous person, is the one who sees God in his life and is willing to give with his hand, both hands, from himself to others. Ze tzaddik. And that causes the holy name to become complete. And whoever does that, he's doing an awakening. It awakens the attribute of kindness in the world. And that flows down. And that makes the it'orerut here from above, from down here above. And when you do that, it's like he's recreating and reunifying the holy name. And for that it says, Ashrei shomrei mishpat oseh tzedakah b'chol et. Lucky are those who obey the law, shomrei mishpat, they guard the law, mishpatim. How? Oseh tzedakah b'chol et. Oseh tzedakah, there is a Kadosh Baruch Hu. Kivyachol hu asa. He created this. He brought God into this world. Come and see. That ani, a poor person, en lo mishelo klum, he doesn't have anything. People give it to him. The same thing, that's why we give it to him. The same thing as the moon does not generate its own light. It's only reflected off the sun. This is the remez. Why is that ani considered to be like a dead person, like a met? Because that place that he's at causes mitah, that is disconnect from Etz HaChaim. That is how do we revive him? We give him chayut. We reconnect to Etz HaChaim. Now you look at Tehillim, at Sefer Tehillim, at Psalms, number 106, and you see that Vayamot Pinchas, and Pinchas stood, Vayefalel, and he prayed, Vateatzer HaMagefa, and the plague stopped, Vatechashev lo letzedakah ledor vador ad olam, and they would count for him as tzedakah to the end of time, for generation to generation. So when you're doing tzedakah, and you're helping people or you prevent people from dying, or in other words, when you're doing tzedakah and you're helping people to go from the status of dead to become alive, not you doing resurrection of the dead. Maybe you are doing somewhat of resurrection of the dead, because now he's not ani anymore, he's not poor. But when you're doing that, right, that is tzedakah. How? You take him, you elevate him. Lucky who's a person that can do that. Even if it's just praying for someone. I'm praying. What did it take you to pray? You pray for anything? Only pray for yourself. Why you wonder why you don't get it? Learn to pray for others. Give from yourself to others by prayer. You see that you would not even have a need to pray. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will give it to you. Say, I didn't know I needed it. Well, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Take it. And that's what we say. Tzedakah, he who gives tzedakah, a person who gives charity, Etz HaChaim shoreh alav, the tree of life comes upon him. As we say, tzedakah tatzil mimavet, charity will save people from death, because otherwise they're poor and they can't live. Asher chelko, lucky was the person, shezacha la'asot Hashem HaKadosh lemala, he who was able, who merited by his action to unify the name, the holy name up there, and because of that, everything that he does will consider to be tzedakah for him, and that is the best insurance policy you can get. So, as my father says, we shall always be from the side who gives, and we shall only receive from Hashem. Amen. Ken Yeh Ratzon.